The NotebookLM update you've all been waiting for is finally here, and it's absolutely amazing. You can now generate audio overviews in other languages, and not just a few random ones, but we've got about 50, and you'll be surprised just by how good it is. Check this out. You're just going to go to NotebookLM, and you're going to hit the settings button right here, and you'll find the output language setting, and here you'll find a library of 50 different languages you can choose from. So let's say I want to pick German, for example, and what that's going to do is translate all of the outputs you get out of NotebookLM to that language. So let's say the chat messages, the presets like the mind map and the study guide, and the audio overview, all of them are going to be in that language, which is German. Now, checking this channel's analytics, pretty much all of you who watch these videos will now be able to listen to audio overviews in your language. There's no interactive mode just yet where you can ask AI questions while you're listening, but I think just the audio overview itself is already amazing. Now, I'm just going to choose the Spanish and hit save, and now all of the outputs I get out of NotebookLM are going to be in this language. Now, hands down, the best benefit you get out of this feature is the fact that you can search up materials in English, but then it will go ahead and transform them into your native language. So let's say you're researching a topic like building muscle and losing fat at the same time, and there are just not enough materials in your native language. You can now search them up in English, so you get access to a much wider database, and then NotebookLM will just go ahead and translate all of these articles for you instead of you having to force yourself to translate every single one. So let me just showcase you how this works. You can just hit discover right here, and you can type out the topic in English, because that's going to give you a much wider database. So I'm just going to type out my topic, I'm going to hit submit, and it's just going to find all of the sources for me first in English. Now, as you can see, it already found some studies, some websites. We've got 10 sources right here. I'm just going to hit import, and you'll be surprised what is going to happen now, because now it's just going to automatically translate all of those materials without you having to do it yourself. So now I can even hit on each source and see what everyone is about. And as you can see, we've just got the summary in Spanish right here as well. I'm just going to hit a couple of presets here just to see how good this is. I'm going to hit mind map, for example, just to organize everything I have to study. I'm going to generate an audio overview. A few seconds later, mind map is ready. And as you can see here, it's organized everything I need to learn, but now in Spanish. Now, I absolutely love the mind map feature. I think it's such a great way to learn visually. And the fact that we now get it in several different languages is just mind-blowing. So let's say I want to know what kind of supplements I need to take to gain muscle and lose fat at the same time. So now we can just click that, and that's just going to go through all of our sources that we found in English and now just summarize all of them in Spanish. So let's see the answer we got right here. So for example, here it says the most scientifically proven supplements. There's going to be a lot of Spanglish if we're trying to translate it in real time. So we've got protein powder, and it says what kind of doses I need to take. We've got creatine, also caffeine, omega-3. So we can just go through all of this and read up on it. We've also just got our audio overview in Spanish. Now, for some reason, it's a lot shorter than the ones we usually get in English. I think the English audios are usually about 15 to 40 minutes. And here we've only got about 7 minutes and a half, which is pretty short. But perhaps this topic is just very narrow, even though I added about 30 sources. So we're just going to check this out in some future notebooks. But for now, I want to listen to this and to see if the Spanish is actually any good, if it's easy to understand, and if it summarizes the topic well.
¿Se puede o es un cuento chino?
A ver, las fuentes coinciden bastante en que sí, que es posible. Pero ojo, con matices importantes.
¿Matices como cuáles?
Pues parece que funciona especialmente bien en gente que empieza, ¿sabes? Principiantes. O personas que tienen un porcentaje de grasa corporal más alto al empezar.
Ah, claro.
O incluso los que vuelven a entrenar después de un parón. Y mencionan mucho el perfil skinny fat.
El delgado con grasa, sí. Un clásico.
Ese.
Wow. That was actually kind of amazing. I was expecting it to be some kind of a robotic NotebookLM translation, but this actually sounds really clear, as if a native person was speaking it. And if you listen to NotebookLM a lot, you'll hear that the voices are completely different. So I think they actually used new actors that are actually Spanish to train this model to make it sound that good, because I think it's super clear and it actually sounds as if a real Spanish person was just telling me this. I also absolutely love the fact that you can just easily switch between languages. Say I got bored of Spanish and I want to switch it to a different one. So I'm just going to go back to settings, output language, and choose another language. Let's say Russian, something completely different. So if I save that and then I hit refresh the page, you'll see that the overview already got translated to Russian automatically. Now, unfortunately, not everything got translated yet, so the articles are still in Spanish, and everything we generated before is still in Spanish. But now, when I generate things again, it's going to now change the language. So let's say I want to regenerate the mind map. And as you can see now, it's in Russian, and I can also delete the audio overview here at the top. So I can hit on the three dots, delete it, generate it again, and now the audio overview is going to be in Russian. Let's see if the Russian audio overview is any good. Again, it's a little bit shorter than the English one.
Все пишут, нужен дефицит калорий, чтобы жир уходил. Логично. Но как тогда мышцы растить, если ешь меньше? Вот тут нестыковка как будто.
Вот. Именно поэтому дефицит должен быть, таким умеренным. Большинство сходится на цифре где-то 10-20%.
The Russian was also really good. It sounded pretty much native, perhaps with like a tinge of an accent, but maybe it's the fault of the audio generation. But I think it's pretty good. Remember, we just started with a couple of articles. We got in English, we then translated all of that to Spanish. Now we just switched the language and translated everything to Russian. I think this is incredible, and there are a ton of use cases that pop up in my head that would be amazing for this kind of feature. So that's what we're going to get into next. Why don't you hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying this content? I'll inform you about all of the latest Google AI releases and teach you how to use them in your workflow to stay super productive. So make sure to hit that button so you never miss a new video again. A great way to actually use this feature is to do your global market research. So say you're a US-based company that develops project management software and you'd like to launch in France. Now, what you'd like to do is to research what your global competitors like Asana do in France and see what kind of features and pricing they have. So what you can do is ask Gemini to find all of the French articles from all of these global competitors like I did here, and then you can just copy and paste them into NotebookLM, which is what I'm going to do. So once my articles are added, I can just ask NotebookLM anything about it. So I'm going to say, using only the provided French website sources from Asana and Reich, compare the main project management features and the pricing plans as presented to the French market. And I'm just going to send that in, and it's going to start looking through all of the sources to give me an answer. So as you can see here, it analyzed all of my French sources I've just added and gave me an answer in English. As you can see, it researched all of the features based on the articles. It's super detailed. And if you scroll down here, you'll see that it also researched all of the pricing plans in France and gave us plans for each one, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I've only added 2 of my competitors, but if you were serious about this, you could potentially add about 300 different pages on the Plus plan. We get the Plus plan included in our Workspace account, so this could be absolutely amazing for global market research. Another great way to use this feature is to make sense of international legal and compliance requirements. So say you're an Amazon seller on Amazon.com and you'd like to start selling in Germany, so you need to understand all of the German and EU legal requirements and regulations. So what you can do is ask Gemini to find a list of sources for you to study everything you need to. And as you can see, it gave me a list of different documents I need to go through: data privacy, consumer rights, Packaging Act. Now we can just copy all of these websites into my notebook, which is what I'm going to do. As I'm uploading this, you'll see that some of the articles are in German, but the new NotebookLM won't have a problem with this. And once all of your sources are uploaded, you can hit settings again and change your output language. Say you're not that good at English, you can speak it, but it's quite hard for you to understand such technical topics. So you can go ahead and switch it to your native language, like Spanish, for example, and it will process all of the information you need. You can go ahead and hit the mind map, for example, and it will just visually organize all of the documents that you need. You can hit on each one and learn in your native language. I think this is incredible. Now, let's say you need to create user documentation in several different languages like setup guides, FAQs, articles, feature descriptions. So what you can do is first upload all of your source information in English or in any other language you have into NotebookLM. This could be your drafts, development notes, marketing descriptions, some documents you've got. You upload all of that, and then once it's ready, you can choose first the output language like English, and you just ask it to draft the guides for you. Then you can go ahead and switch the language to Spanish and ask it to generate that again. Then you go ahead and switch it to French, ask it to generate it again, and you can do this in 50 different languages, so it's super useful. If you have NotebookLM Plus or a Workspace account, you can use NotebookLM as your knowledge base for training, onboarding, documentation, and then all of your colleagues across the globe can access the same notebook and choose their own output language. So, say you need to constantly onboard new employees across the globe to tell them what your company is about, what you guys do. So, you can create a notebook for this, upload all of your information like documents, websites, articles, etc. And then you can just hit share and share it with your new employees. Now, when they log into this notebook, they can go to settings and choose the language they're most comfortable with, even though perhaps the original document language was English or Spanish. So they can go ahead and choose, for example, German, save that, and now they can ask any questions or create mind maps to learn about it, and even generate short audio overviews to learn about your company in their native language. Do you have a Google Workspace account? If you do, you must watch the previous video I made about its latest AI features, including NotebookLM. They'll make you super productive. So why don't you go ahead and watch that, and I'll see you there.